Hello friend, and welcome to Science for Sleep. Tonight, we'll be spending some quiet time talking about cats. Animals that have lived alongside humans for thousands of years, yet have always remained largely independent of human rhythm, expectation, or demand. Cats share space without reshaping themselves to it. They move through environments slowly. They pause often, and they respond only when something in their surroundings truly requires attention. Because of this, many people experience cats as calm, steady presences. Not because cats are trying to create comfort, but because of how their minds and bodies are organized. The mind of a cat is shaped by efficiency and containment. Attention remains narrow. Energy is conserved. Awareness stays present without spreading outward. Cats do not seek constant interaction. They do not escalate emotion. They do not fill space with unnecessary movement or sound. Instead, their behavior follows a simple pattern. Observe, respond briefly, then return to stillness. Tension does not linger. Attention does not drift. When nothing meaningful is happening, the cat system settles naturally. This way of moving through the world is not learned behavior, and it is not personality. It is biology, a nervous system designed to remain regulated unless change demands otherwise. If you find this kind of slow, quiet exploration helpful for rest, you may want to subscribe to Science for Sleep. New documentaries like this are released regularly, each designed to move gently and remain in the background as attention softens. From here on, nothing will be asked of you. Throughout this documentary, we'll be observing how a cat's senses, memory, movement, and patterns of rest work together to maintain this contained internal state. There are no instructions to follow and no ideas you need to hold on to. Only gentle observation. You may notice how cats remain nearby without demanding interaction, how they pause without urgency, and how they rest without fully disconnecting from their surroundings. These behaviors are not emotional gestures. They are natural outcomes of a system built to conserve energy and remain attuned to what matters. Cats are not passive. They are selective. Their minds stay close to the present environment, responding efficiently and then releasing. When nothing changes, the system stays quiet. When something does change, attention engages briefly and precisely before settling again. This rhythm, observe, respond, release, creates a presence that often feels calm to those sharing the same space. This documentary is designed to move slowly. You don't need to follow every sentence. You don't need to remember what was just said. Let the narration continue softly in the background as we begin exploring the structure of the feline mind and how, without intention, that structure often shapes the quiet, steady presence cats bring into a room. Nothing needs to happen for this to continue. Cats are not still by accident. Their bodies are organized around the careful use of energy, shaped by a long history of solitary hunting and environmental awareness. Unlike animals that rely on endurance or constant movement, cats evolved to remain inactive for long periods, conserving energy until a brief moment of precision is required. This pattern begins early in life and remains consistent into adulthood. A cat may spend much of the day resting, pausing, or appearing disengaged. But this is not inactivity in the way humans often understand it. The body is not shut down. The mind is not wandering. Instead, energy is being preserved, held in reserve, ready to be directed when necessary. Stillness is part of the system. Cats do not move unless movement serves a purpose. They do not hold muscle tension without reason. They do not remain alert beyond what the environment requires. When nothing changes around them, the body settles naturally. Muscles soften, breathing slows. The nervous system remains quiet without losing awareness. This allows cats to maintain readiness without exhausting themselves. Energy conservation in cats is supported by long periods of rest that exist somewhere between full sleep and light awareness. During these states, the body recovers while the senses remain loosely engaged. A sound, a shift in light, or a subtle movement is enough to bring attention forward if needed. But if nothing changes, attention releases again. This rhythm, resting without disconnection, allows cats to remain efficient over time. Instead of cycling between high alertness and complete shutdown, their systems operate in a narrow range, rarely reaching extremes. Because of this, cats do not appear rushed. They do not appear restless. They do not appear depleted. Their movements are brief and precise because energy has been preserved in advance. When a cat stands, stretches, or crosses a room, the motion is smooth and contained. There is no excess effort and no lingering tension once the movement ends. Afterward, the body returns to stillness. This efficiency also shapes how cats position themselves in space. They choose locations that minimize effort while maximizing awareness. Elevated surfaces, edges of rooms, warm areas where the body can remain relaxed without losing sensory input. Once settled, the cat remains there until the environment changes enough to warrant relocation. This pattern is not strategic in a conscious sense. It is automatic. The feline nervous system does not search for stimulation. It responds only to meaningful shifts. When stimulation is absent, the system stays quiet, conserving resources rather than filling the gap with activity. Over time, this creates a consistent internal rhythm. Energy is neither spent too quickly nor held in constant readiness. Instead, it is released only when required and reclaimed immediately afterward. This is why cats can appear deeply relaxed while still remaining aware of their surroundings. The body has learned that constant vigilance is unnecessary. Awareness can remain light, flexible, and responsive without becoming tense. Energy conservation also reduces the need for recovery after movement. Because effort is minimal and brief, the body does not require extended downtime to reset. Rest blends smoothly into activity, and activity dissolves back into rest. There is no sharp contrast between the two. As a result, cats often feel steady to observe. Their presence does not fluctuate dramatically. Their behavior does not escalate quickly. Their systems remain contained, predictable, and efficient. This does not mean cats are inactive or unresponsive. It means their energy is organized around restraint. When nothing is demanded, nothing is spent. This way of operating allows the feline mind to remain close to the present environment without becoming overloaded. Attention is not scattered. Energy is not leaked through unnecessary movement. The system stays balanced through simplicity. And when the environment remains quiet, the cat remains quiet as well. This balance between rest and readiness continues throughout the day, shaping how cats move, settle, and remain present within a space. It is the foundation upon which their calm, contained presence is built, not through effort, but through conservation. Nothing is being withheld. Nothing is being suppressed. The system is simply doing less, because less is required. Stillness, in many animals, can appear risky. Pausing movement often means lowering defenses, reducing awareness, or becoming exposed to the environment. For some species, rest requires withdrawal or concealment. For others, it demands constant vigilance to offset the loss of motion. Cats operate differently. When a cat becomes still, it is not stepping away from awareness. The body settles, but the system does not collapse inward. Muscles soften without disengaging completely. Breathing slows without becoming shallow. The senses remain loosely open, monitoring the environment without scanning it. This allows cats to rest without becoming vulnerable. Stillness, for a cat, is not the absence of readiness. It is a stable state. The feline mind does not interpret inactivity as danger. Instead, it treats stillness as the default position when the environment remains unchanged. Movement is the exception, not the rule. This distinction shapes how cats rest in open spaces. They do not always seek concealment. They do not require barriers or enclosures to feel secure. Often, a cat will settle in the middle of a room, on a piece of furniture, or near a familiar path of movement. Their bodies remain relaxed, but their orientation stays intact. The head remains upright or gently lowered. The ears continue to register sound. The eyes may close partially, but not fully. These cues indicate a system that has not shut down. Awareness remains distributed across the environment, ready to respond if needed, yet quiet enough to allow rest. Because of this, cats do not experience stillness as exposure. There is no internal alarm triggered by pausing. The nervous system does not demand constant confirmation of safety. Safety is assumed unless contradicted. This assumption allows the feline mind to remain regulated without effort. There is no need to check, reassess, or anticipate future events. The system responds only to what is present. If nothing changes, nothing happens. This is why cats can remain motionless for long periods without showing signs of discomfort or tension. Muscles are not held rigid. Posture is maintained without strain. The body distributes weight evenly, minimizing effort. When the body needs to adjust, it does so briefly and precisely, then returns to stillness. There is no urgency in these movements, no excess correction, no lingering activation afterward. Stillness also shapes how cats observe their surroundings. Rather than following every movement or sound, attention remains selective. Only changes that exceed a certain threshold are registered fully. Minor fluctuations are ignored. This prevents sensory overload. By filtering out unnecessary input, the feline mind preserves clarity. Awareness stays clean, uncluttered, and manageable. The environment is monitored without being consumed. This selective awareness contributes to a feeling of steadiness when observing a cat. Their bodies do not react to every stimulus. Their posture does not shift constantly. Their presence remains consistent. Even when resting, the system remains coherent. In moments when the environment does change, a sudden sound, a nearby movement. The response is brief and contained. The cat may lift its head, open its eyes, or adjust its position. If the stimulus resolves quickly, the system releases just as quickly. There is no prolonged alertness, no residual tension, no need to remain engaged longer than necessary. This ability to enter and exit awareness smoothly allows cats to rest without fragmentation. Stillness does not require collapse, and alertness does not require agitation. The two states blend together. Over time, this creates a pattern where the cat's presence feels uninterrupted. There are no sharp transitions between activity and rest. The system flows gently between them, maintaining balance. Because stillness does not compromise safety, cats do not avoid it. They return to it frequently, using it as a baseline rather than a temporary state. This baseline supports both physical recovery and mental clarity. Energy is conserved, attention remains available, and the body avoids unnecessary strain. Stillness becomes a place the system can remain, rather than something it must leave. For those sharing space with a cat, this pattern often feels grounding. The cat does not mirror human restlessness. It does not respond to minor changes in mood or movement. It remains settled unless something meaningful occurs. This steadiness is not performative. It is not intentional. It is the natural outcome of a system that does not associate rest with danger. When nothing requires action, the body stays still. When nothing threatens safety, awareness stays soft. Stillness, in this way, becomes sustainable. And because it is sustainable, it becomes familiar. Cats experience the world through patterns. Rather than seeking novelty or variation, the feline system organizes itself around familiarity. Locations, routines, and sensory cues form a stable framework that allows the body and mind to remain regulated without constant reassessment. Territory, for a cat, is not about ownership. It is about predictability. A familiar space provides known sensory information. Sounds repeat. Light shifts follow recognizable paths. Scents remain stable. Movement occurs within expected boundaries. When these elements stay consistent, the feline system does not need to remain alert. The environment becomes readable. This readability allows the cat's mind to relax into the space without disengaging from it. Awareness remains present, but it does not need to search. The body stays oriented without tension. Within a familiar territory, cats know where to rest, where to observe, and where to move if something changes. These decisions are not made consciously in the moment. They are embedded into the system through repetition. Over time, the territory becomes an extension of the cat's internal map. Because of this, cats often return to the same locations throughout the day. A specific chair, a windowsill, a section of the floor warmed by light. These places are not chosen at random. They represent points of stability where the system has learned it can remain settled. Once positioned, the body does not need to adjust continuously. Posture is supported by familiarity. Muscles soften more easily. Breathing remains slow and even. The territory holds the cat. Predictability also reduces the need for anticipation. In an unfamiliar space, the system must remain alert, scanning for changes or potential disruptions. In a familiar one, the feline mind already knows what to expect. This reduces cognitive load. When the environment behaves as expected, attention can remain light. There is no need to prepare for unknown outcomes. The system responds only to deviations that exceed what is familiar. Minor changes are absorbed without reaction. Major changes receive brief attention. Once resolved, the system releases again. This creates a rhythm where awareness engages only when necessary. Territory also supports stillness. Because the cat knows where it is and what surrounds it, the body does not need to reposition frequently. Resting spots are chosen for their balance between visibility and comfort. Cats often select locations that allow them to observe entrances or pathways without needing to move. This minimizes effort while maintaining orientation. Once settled, the cat remains there until the environment changes enough to warrant movement. This predictability extends beyond physical space. Daily routines, feeding times, lighting cycles, human movement patterns become part of the cat's internal model of the environment. When these routines remain consistent, the system stays regulated. There is no need to track time actively or anticipate transitions. The body adjusts naturally as cues appear. This reduces internal noise. The feline mind does not dwell on what comes next. It responds when cues arrive and remains settled in their absence. As a result, cats often appear unbothered by long stretches of quiet. Silence does not create unease. Stillness does not feel empty. The system is already aligned with the environment as it is. Territory provides continuity. This continuity allows cats to maintain a steady internal state even when sharing space with others. Human movement, sound, and activity become part of the predictable landscape. As long as these elements follow familiar patterns, they do not disrupt the cat's regulation. The cat remains present without reacting. This is why cats can rest calmly in rooms where people move quietly around them. The environment remains readable. Nothing exceeds expectation. When unpredictability does occur, a loud noise, an unfamiliar presence, the system responds briefly. Attention engages. The body adjusts position if needed. Once the environment stabilizes again, the system releases. Predictability restores regulation. Over time, this relationship between territory and internal state creates a consistent presence. The cat does not need to assert control over the environment. It simply inhabits it, relying on familiarity to maintain balance. The environment does not need to change for the cat to feel settled. It only needs to remain recognizable. This reliance on predictability supports the feline system's preference for containment. Attention stays close. Movement remains minimal. The body conserves energy by trusting what is known. Territory, in this sense, is not defended. It is trusted. And when trust is present, the system stays quiet. This quiet allows the cat to remain grounded within its space, moving only when change requires it. Familiarity replaces vigilance. Stability replaces anticipation. The result is a presence that feels steady, unreactive, and calm. Not because the cat is disengaged, but because the environment no longer demands constant response. Nothing is missing. Nothing needs to be added. The system rests within what it already knows. Cats pause frequently. They stop mid-movement. They sit without transitioning into sleep. They stand briefly, then settle again. These pauses are not hesitation. They are not indecision. They are not preparation for action. They are a natural part of how the feline system processes the environment. For a cat, pausing is not a break from activity. It is an active state in itself. The body remains organized. The senses stay lightly engaged. Attention rests on the present moment without extending beyond it. This allows the cat to remain responsive without committing energy unnecessarily. When a cat pauses, the system is checking nothing. It is waiting for nothing. It is simply remaining. The feline mind does not require constant motion to maintain awareness. Movement is not used to regulate internal state. Stillness is already sufficient. Because of this, cats do not rush between actions. They allow small gaps to exist naturally. These gaps are not filled with thought, anticipation, or evaluation. They are empty by design. During a pause, the body releases tension accumulated during the previous movement. Muscles soften. Breathing evens out. The nervous system returns to baseline before deciding whether anything further is required. Often, nothing is. This pattern prevents escalation. Energy is not carried forward from one action to the next. Each movement stands alone, separated by a moment of release. Over time, this creates a rhythm where activity never stacks. The system remains clean, uncluttered, and efficient. Pausing also allows cats to update their internal map of the environment. Rather than continuously tracking change, they sample the environment at intervals. If nothing new is detected, attention remains light. If something does change, attention engages briefly and precisely. Once resolved, the system pauses again. This intermittent engagement reduces cognitive load. The feline mind is not overwhelmed by constant input. Information arrives only when relevant. This makes pauses functional rather than passive. Cats also pause because their movements are intentional. They do not move unless there is a reason to do so. Before transitioning from one position to another, the system settles fully into the present state. Only when a new need arises does movement resume. There is no urgency to continue. This differs from systems that rely on momentum. For cats, momentum is unnecessary. Each action begins and ends cleanly. This clean separation between actions prevents lingering activation. There is no residual alertness once a movement is complete. The pause acts as a reset. These resets occur throughout the day, shaping the overall tone of the cat's presence. Activity never becomes continuous. Stillness is woven between movements, maintaining balance. Pausing also supports sensory clarity. During still moments, the senses recalibrate. Vision adjusts. Hearing remains open. Whiskers maintain spatial orientation. The system stays tuned without strain. Because pausing is frequent, the feline system never drifts far from baseline. There is no buildup of tension that needs to be released later. Regulation happens continuously, in small increments. This is why cats rarely appear restless. Their bodies do not carry unresolved activation. Their minds do not rush ahead of the present moment. Their systems do not demand constant engagement. Pauses allow everything to settle before continuing. To an observer, these pauses can appear deliberate or contemplative. But from within the system, there is no internal commentary. The pause simply exists because nothing else is required. There is no evaluation of whether to move next. There is no planning for what comes after. The system remains neutral. This neutrality contributes to the sense of calm that often accompanies a cat's presence. Their movements do not escalate. Their posture does not signal urgency. Their behavior remains contained. Pauses create space without emptiness. They allow the environment to remain as it is, without interference. The cat becomes part of the background rather than an active force within it. This does not mean the cat is disengaged. Awareness remains intact. The system is simply not amplifying. Over time, these frequent pauses shape the overall rhythm of the feline day. Activity and rest blend together without sharp transitions. Movement dissolves naturally into stillness, and stillness remains until movement is required again. Nothing is forced. Nothing is delayed. The system moves when it needs to and pauses when it does not. This simplicity allows regulation to remain effortless. Pausing is not something the cat does intentionally. It is how the system operates when left undisturbed. And because pauses are frequent, calm becomes continuous. The environment does not need to change. The body does not need to adjust. The pause holds everything steady. Cats are highly sensitive animals. Their senses gather more information than is immediately acted upon. Sound, movement, light, and spatial cues are continuously registered. Yet only a small portion of this information results in visible response. This separation between sensing and reacting is central to how the feline system remains regulated. For a cat, awareness does not demand action. The nervous system is capable of holding sensory input quietly, without escalating it into movement, posture change, or alert behavior. The ears may rotate slightly. The whiskers may adjust position. The eyes may narrow or soften, but the body remains still. This allows cats to stay informed about their environment without becoming involved in it. Sensory input is acknowledged, then released, unless it exceeds a meaningful threshold. This threshold is not emotional. It is biological. Minor sounds, distant movement, or familiar patterns do not require response. The system recognizes them as non-threatening and non-essential. Attention remains present but relaxed. Only when a change breaks from expectation does attention move forward. This filtering prevents overload. The feline mind does not attempt to process everything equally. It prioritizes relevance over volume. As a result, sensory awareness remains clear rather than noisy. Cats are able to remain in open spaces because their senses do not pull them into constant engagement. They do not chase every sound or track every movement. Their awareness stays broad but shallow. This allows the body to remain settled. Vision plays a role in this balance. Cats are particularly sensitive to motion, yet they do not fixate on static details. When nothing moves, visual attention softens. The eyes may remain open, half closed, or closed entirely, depending on the environment. Awareness does not disappear when the eyes close. It simply shifts inward, remaining loosely connected to the surroundings. Hearing operates in a similar way. Cats can detect subtle sounds, yet they do not respond unless the sound carries significance. Familiar noises blend into the background. The system does not demand confirmation. This passive monitoring allows cats to rest without disconnecting. Sensory input continues to arrive, but it does not disturb the internal state unless necessary. Whiskers add another layer of spatial awareness. They provide constant feedback about proximity and position without requiring visual confirmation. This reduces the need for movement. The body knows where it is. Because the senses are reliable, the feline system does not need to compensate with vigilance. Awareness remains steady without tension. This reliability supports stillness. The body trusts that it will receive relevant information if something changes. There is no need to search for it actively. Over time, this creates a calm baseline. Sensory awareness without reaction also shapes how cats respond to novelty. When something unfamiliar appears, the system does not immediately escalate. Attention engages, posture may adjust slightly, and the situation is assessed. If the stimulus resolves or proves harmless, the system releases quickly. There is no lingering alertness, no repeated checking, no need to stay engaged beyond the moment. This ability to disengage supports regulation. Sensory input does not accumulate. Each event is processed independently and allowed to pass. Because of this, cats rarely appear overstimulated in stable environments. Their senses remain open, but their responses remain minimal. The system stays efficient. This efficiency is visible in how cats position themselves. They choose locations that provide sensory access without requiring movement, near windows, doorways, or central areas. Once positioned, the body remains still. Awareness covers the environment without effort. This contributes to the sense of quiet presence cats often bring into a space. Their attention is there, but it is not directed outward. It does not intrude. The environment continues as it is. Sensory awareness without reaction also prevents emotional escalation. Because the system does not amplify minor stimuli, there is no chain reaction of arousal. The internal state remains stable. This stability is not learned. It is not trained. It emerges naturally from a system that does not equate sensing with responding. When nothing requires action, the body stays still. When nothing demands attention, the mind stays quiet. This pattern repeats continuously throughout the day, maintaining balance without effort. The senses remain open, but the system remains calm. Nothing is suppressed. Nothing is ignored. Information arrives, is assessed, and is released. This gentle filtering allows cats to remain present without becoming reactive. Awareness stays broad, flexible, and light. And because reaction is optional rather than automatic, the system stays contained. The cat does not need to retreat from the world to remain regulated. It simply does not amplify what does not matter. This is how sensory awareness becomes compatible with rest, and how stillness remains possible even in a world full of subtle signals. Cats hear more than they respond to. Their auditory system is capable of detecting a wide range of sounds, many of which never result in visible reaction. This ability allows cats to remain informed about their environment without needing to engage with it directly. Sound, for a cat, does not demand movement. The ears remain active even when the body is still. Small rotations, often barely noticeable, adjust the direction of listening. These movements occur without disturbing posture or interrupting rest. The body remains settled. Cats do not track sound continuously. Instead, they sample it. Familiar noises are registered and released. Distant or repetitive sounds blend into the background, losing significance as they repeat without consequence. Only sounds that differ from expectation move attention forward. This selective listening prevents the system from becoming overwhelmed. The feline mind does not attempt to assign meaning to every sound. It filters based on relevance, not intensity. A quiet sound that signals change may receive more attention than a louder one that repeats predictably. Because of this, cats can remain calm in environments that might seem noisy to others. The system recognizes patterns and dismisses them without effort. Sound does not accumulate. Auditory awareness remains distributed rather than focused. The cat does not fixate on a single source unless necessary. Attention stays flexible, able to shift without tension. When nothing requires response, the ears continue to listen quietly. This quiet listening supports rest. The body does not need to move to maintain awareness. The system trusts that sound will register if something meaningful occurs. As a result, cats can rest with eyes closed while remaining aware of their surroundings. Hearing remains open even when other senses soften. This creates a state of calm vigilance. Calm vigilance does not feel urgent. It does not involve scanning. It does not require readiness for action. It simply exists as a background process. When a sound breaks from familiarity, a sudden shift, an unexpected movement, attention engages briefly. The ears orient more fully. The head may lift slightly. If the sound resolves, the system releases. There is no lingering alertness, no need to confirm safety repeatedly, no escalation beyond the moment. This quick engagement and release prevents tension from building. Sound does not pull the system into prolonged readiness. The feline auditory system is designed to notice, not to dwell. This design supports stillness. Because the cat does not need to track sound actively, the body can remain relaxed. Muscles stay soft. Breathing remains slow. The system does not anticipate danger in the absence of change. Hearing also interacts with territory. In familiar environments, sounds follow predictable patterns. Floors creak, doors open and close. Voices move through space in recognizable ways. The feline mind learns these patterns and dismisses them automatically. Only deviations receive attention. This predictability allows the auditory system to remain quiet without becoming inattentive. Sound awareness remains present, but it does not intrude. This contributes to the overall sense of steadiness in a cat's presence. Their bodies do not react to every noise. Their posture does not shift constantly. They remain where they are unless something truly changes. Even when listening actively, cats do not tense unnecessarily. The ears move, but the rest of the body stays still. This separation between sensory engagement and physical response preserves energy. The system remains efficient. Sound awareness without reaction also shapes how cats respond to silence. Silence does not signal absence. It is simply another state of the environment. The feline system does not become uneasy when sound drops away. There is no need to fill the space with movement or activity. Silence is allowed. This acceptance of quiet further supports regulation. The system does not rely on sound to maintain orientation. It remains grounded even when auditory input is minimal. Over time, this creates a stable internal rhythm. Sound enters and exits awareness without leaving residue. The cat remains present without being pulled outward. This pattern repeats throughout the day. Listening occurs continuously, but reaction remains optional. Because reaction is optional, the system stays calm. The cat does not need to retreat to remain regulated. It does not need to assert control over its environment. It simply listens quietly, and when nothing demands attention, the body remains still. Hearing becomes a passive sense rather than an activating one. The environment continues to exist without disruption. This balance between awareness and stillness allows cats to remain settled even in shared spaces. Sounds pass through without pulling the system into activity. The cat stays where it is. Cats communicate constantly, yet very little of this communication is intended to draw attention. The feline body does not exaggerate its signals. Movements remain small. Posture changes are subtle. Shifts in position often occur without obvious markers. This restraint is not accidental. It reflects a system designed to remain contained rather than expressive. For a cat, communication does not require display. The body conveys information simply by existing within space. Orientation, distance, stillness, and direction carry meaning without needing to be emphasized. A slight turn of the head, a change in weight distribution, a pause where movement might otherwise continue. These signals are not layered. They are singular. They do not compete with one another. Because of this, feline body language often goes unnoticed unless it is being actively observed. The cat is not attempting to project information outward. The body is responding inwardly to the environment, and any visible signal is a byproduct of that response. This creates a form of communication that remains quiet. Cats do not amplify their internal state through posture. They do not widen movements to ensure they are seen. The system does not assume that being understood requires being obvious. Instead, the body stays close to baseline. When a cat is settled, posture reflects that settlement. Muscles remain soft. The spine rests in a neutral curve. Limbs fold or extend in ways that minimize effort. The head remains aligned with the body, rather than lifted for display. Nothing is held longer than necessary. If attention shifts, the change is minimal. The ears may rotate slightly. The eyes may narrow or open briefly. The body may adjust orientation by a few degrees. These shifts communicate awareness without signaling urgency. This minimalism prevents escalation. Because the body does not exaggerate, the system does not feed itself additional activation. Movement remains informational rather than stimulating. Once the information has been conveyed, the body returns to stillness. There is no need to repeat the signal. This efficiency also reduces misinterpretation within the feline system. Signals are not layered with emotional weight. They are not meant to provoke reaction. They simply reflect the current state of awareness. As a result, feline communication does not linger. The system does not remain activated by its own signals. There is no feedback loop created by display. The body speaks briefly, then becomes quiet again. This differs from systems where communication is designed to attract attention or elicit response. In those systems, signals are often repeated, intensified, or held until acknowledged. Cats do not require acknowledgement. The message has already been delivered by the body's position in space. Because of this, cats are comfortable remaining near others without interaction. Proximity alone does not imply engagement. A cat may sit or lie nearby without adjusting posture, without facing directly, and without initiating contact. This proximity is not an invitation. It is simply presence. The body remains neutral. There is no leaning forward, no widening of stance, no tension held to maintain readiness. The system is at rest while remaining oriented. This neutrality often reads as calm to observers. The cat is there, but it is not asking for anything. It is not signaling need or expectation. The absence of display allows the environment to remain unchanged. Even when a cat does choose to move, the motion remains contained. Movements begin and end without flourish. The body does not overshoot or linger in transition. Each action is completed cleanly. Once complete, the body returns to stillness. This creates a visual rhythm where movement never dominates. Stillness remains the default, and communication occurs within it, rather than interrupting it. Over time, this pattern contributes to the steady presence cats maintain in shared spaces. Their bodies do not draw focus. Their signals do not demand interpretation. The environment continues as it is. The cat remains part of the background. This does not mean the cat is disengaged. Awareness remains present. The system simply does not externalize that awareness unless necessary. Body language without display allows cats to remain regulated while coexisting with others. There is no need to manage impressions or reactions. The body stays aligned with the internal state rather than shaping itself for an audience. This alignment reduces internal friction. Nothing needs to be held back. Nothing needs to be projected. The body does only what is required. As a result, communication remains light. Signals pass quickly. The system does not remain activated by its own output. Stillness returns. This cycle, subtle signal, release, stillness, repeats throughout the day. It keeps the system balanced and prevents accumulation of tension. The cat does not carry its communication forward. Each moment stands alone. In shared environments, this restraint often creates a sense of quiet continuity. The cat does not interrupt the flow of space. It occupies it without reshaping it. Body language remains present but unobtrusive. Nothing is amplified. Nothing is prolonged. The system remains contained. And within that containment, rest remains uninterrupted. The tail of a cat is often misunderstood. It is commonly interpreted as an emotional signal, a visual indicator meant to communicate mood or intention. While the tail can reflect internal state, its primary role is not expressive. It is functional. For cats, the tail exists first as a tool of balance and orientation. The feline body is designed for precision. Movement is controlled, deliberate, and efficient. The tail supports this precision by acting as a stabilizing extension of the spine subtly adjusting posture as the body shifts through space. When a cat walks along a narrow surface, the tail moves gently in response to small changes in weight distribution. These movements are not meant to be seen. They are automatic corrections that help the body remain centered. Even when a cat is still, the tail remains part of the system's alignment. It rests in a position that supports balance rather than display. Wrapped loosely, extended behind, or curved alongside the body, the tail settles wherever it requires the least effort to maintain posture. There is no need to position it deliberately. When the environment is stable, the tail remains quiet. When the body shifts, the tail adjusts briefly. When balance is restored, movement stops. This pattern reflects the broader feline approach to movement. Respond only when necessary, then release. Because of this, tail movement often appears minimal. Small flicks or slow sways occur not as signals, but as corrections. The system fine-tunes itself without engaging the rest of the body. These adjustments prevent tension from spreading. Instead of involving multiple muscles, the tail absorbs small imbalances, allowing the body to remain relaxed. The feline mind does not assign emotional meaning to these movements. They are part of the body's ongoing effort to stay aligned with gravity and space. When observers interpret these motions as emotional gestures, they are projecting meaning onto a process that is primarily mechanical. This misunderstanding arises because the tail is visible while the internal adjustments it supports are not. In moments of heightened awareness, the tail may move more noticeably. This does not necessarily indicate emotion. It reflects increased sensory engagement. The body is making more frequent micro-adjustments as attention becomes more focused. Once attention settles, the tail becomes quiet again. The system releases. The tail also supports orientation. It helps the body maintain spatial awareness without relying solely on vision. Subtle changes in tail position provide feedback about the body's position relative to the environment. This reduces the need for movement. The cat knows where it is. Because of this, cats can remain still for long periods without losing alignment. The tail rests where it best supports the body's current posture. There is no discomfort in remaining motionless. This contributes to the sense of steadiness that often accompanies a cat's presence. The body does not shift unnecessarily. Posture remains stable. The tail does not distract. When a cat transitions between positions, the tail moves briefly to support the shift. Once complete, it returns to rest. There is no lingering activity. This efficiency also shapes how cats sit or lie down. The tail is often tucked close to the body, minimizing exposure and effort. This positioning reduces the need for further adjustment. The system remains contained. Even when a cat appears to move its tail rhythmically, the motion is often regulating rather than expressive. Repetitive movement can help maintain balance during subtle shifts in posture or awareness. Once balance is achieved, the movement fades. The tail does not seek attention. It does not demand interpretation. It performs its function quietly. This functional role also explains why tail movement varies depending on context. In stable environments, movement is minimal. In unfamiliar or changing environments, adjustments may occur more frequently. The tail responds to physical conditions, not emotional narratives. Understanding the tail in this way helps explain why cats can remain calm even when their tail moves. Movement does not necessarily indicate agitation. It reflects the body maintaining equilibrium. The feline system does not escalate based on its own adjustments. This lack of escalation prevents feedback loops. The body does not react to its own signals. Once balance is restored, stillness returns. The tail, in this sense, supports the overall containment of the system. It absorbs minor disruptions before they affect posture, movement, or attention. This allows the rest of the body to remain relaxed. Over time, this creates a visual language where movement remains minimal and purposeful. The cat does not appear restless. Its presence remains consistent. The tail plays its role quietly. For those sharing space with a cat, this quiet functionality contributes to a sense of calm. The cat's body does not broadcast internal state. Movements remain subtle and self-contained. Nothing spills outward. The tail remains part of the internal regulation system rather than a tool of expression. It does what it needs to do, then becomes still. This pattern repeats throughout the day, supporting balance during movement and stability during rest. The tail does not carry meaning forward. Each adjustment stands alone. When the environment is quiet, the tail is quiet. When the body is balanced, the tail rests. Nothing more is required, and so the system remains steady. The feline brain is organized for containment. Rather than expanding attention outward, it keeps processing close to the present environment. Information enters the system, is assessed briefly, and then either acted upon or released. There is little accumulation. This contained processing allows the cat to remain regulated without effort. The feline mind does not seek constant stimulation. It does not search for problems to solve. When the environment remains stable, the system remains quiet. Processing narrows instead of widening. This narrowing reduces internal noise. Thoughts do not branch. Attention does not scatter. The system stays focused on what is immediately relevant and lets go of everything else. This does not mean the cat lacks awareness. It means awareness is filtered. The feline brain prioritizes sensory relevance over abstraction. It does not linger on past events once they have resolved, and it does not project forward unless change requires anticipation. Most processing happens in short, contained intervals. When a stimulus appears, the system engages. Neural activity increases just enough to assess significance. If action is required, the body responds. If not, activity subsides. There is no rehearsal. There is no replay. There is no elaboration. This prevents cognitive carryover. Each moment stands alone, processed independently, and then released. The structure of the feline brain supports this efficiency. Neural pathways emphasize rapid assessment and quick resolution. Processing loops are short. Feedback cycles close quickly. Once closed, they do not reopen. This containment prevents rumination. The system does not revisit stimuli once they have passed. Attention returns to baseline automatically. As a result, the cat's internal state remains stable. The feline brain also avoids layering meaning onto experience. Sensory input is not translated into narrative. Sounds are sounds. Movements are movements. They are not woven into ongoing interpretation. This simplicity preserves energy. By avoiding narrative construction, the system reduces cognitive demand. There is no need to integrate experiences into a broader story. Each event is evaluated on its own terms. When nothing changes, nothing is processed. This contributes to the sense of stillness often observed in cats. Their bodies are quiet because their processing is quiet. The system is not occupied with internal dialogue. The brain does not search for engagement when it is unnecessary. Contained processing also allows cats to transition smoothly between states. Moving from rest to activity and back again does not require mental preparation. The system shifts as needed and settles immediately afterward. There is no mental residue left behind. Because processing remains contained, emotional amplification is minimal. Sensory input does not trigger cascading responses. The system remains proportional. Small stimuli remain small. Large stimuli receive brief attention. Once resolved, processing ends. This proportionality maintains balance. The feline brain does not attempt to maintain constant readiness. It trusts that relevant information will arrive when necessary. Until then, the system remains at rest. This trust reduces vigilance. Without vigilance, there is no need to sustain high levels of neural activation. The brain remains in a low energy state while staying responsive. This state supports prolonged periods of rest without cognitive fatigue. The contained nature of feline processing also shapes memory. Experiences are stored as associations rather than narratives. Places, scents, and routines are recognized without requiring reflection. Recognition replaces recollection. This allows the cat to navigate familiar environments without active thought. Processing is implicit rather than explicit. The system does not dwell on what is known. Because of this, familiar spaces do not generate mental activity. The brain does not reprocess what it already understands. It simply remains aligned with the environment. This alignment further reduces cognitive load. The feline brain also minimizes internal conflict. There is little competing information. Attention is either engaged or released. It does not oscillate between states. This stability supports regulation. When the environment is calm, the brain remains calm. There is no internal pressure to change state. This is why cats can remain settled for long periods without appearing bored or restless. The brain does not seek stimulation to fill silence. Silence is not a problem to solve. Contained processing also means that cats do not anticipate future events in the absence of cues. The system remains anchored to what is currently present. There is no need to prepare for hypothetical outcomes. Preparation occurs only when prompted by change. This immediacy prevents anxiety-like states. Without projection, there is no buildup of unresolved anticipation. The system stays neutral until action is required. When action is required, it occurs efficiently. Once complete, the brain releases. This cycle, assess, respond, release, repeats consistently throughout the day. It keeps the internal state clean. Nothing accumulates, nothing lingers, nothing loops unnecessarily. The feline brain remains economical. This economy contributes to the sense of steadiness that often accompanies a cat's presence. Their internal state does not fluctuate widely. Their processing does not intrude into the environment. They remain present without broadcasting activity. The brain does not need to explain itself. It simply functions. Contained processing allows the cat to remain in a balanced state, even in shared spaces. Human movement, sound, and activity do not automatically enter the cat's processing stream unless they break from familiarity. Most of the environment passes through without impact. The system stays quiet. This quiet is not emptiness. It is efficiency. The feline brain does only what is required, when it is required, and nothing more. And when nothing is required, processing rests. Cats remember differently. Their memories are not constructed as stories or timelines. Instead, they are stored as associations, connections between places, sensations, routines, and outcomes. This form of memory allows information to remain useful without becoming active. The feline mind does not revisit past experiences once they have served their purpose. When a cat encounters a familiar environment, recognition happens immediately. The body aligns with what is known. There is no need to reflect or recall consciously. Memory functions quietly in the background, guiding behavior without engaging attention. This prevents rumination. Events that resolve do not linger. Once an experience ends, the system releases it. There is no internal replay, no attempt to extract meaning beyond what is necessary for future recognition. The memory remains stored, but inactive. This inactivity is important. It allows the cat's internal state to remain uncluttered. Attention stays available for the present moment, rather than being drawn backward. Memory serves orientation, not reflection. Cats remember routines through repetition rather than rehearsal. Feeding times, resting locations, and environmental patterns become embedded through consistency. Once embedded, they do not require monitoring. The system responds automatically when cues appear. If cues do not appear, memory stays dormant. This allows the feline system to remain settled between events. There is no anticipation in the absence of signals. The body does not prepare prematurely. Memory activates only when prompted. This selective activation keeps cognitive demand low. The feline mind does not hold multiple possibilities in mind. It responds to what is real rather than what might occur. Because of this, memory does not generate internal noise. Even emotionally significant events are processed in this contained way. Once the environment returns to stability, memory releases its influence. The internal state resets. There is no accumulation of unresolved experience. This does not mean cats forget. They retain information that supports survival and familiarity. But that information remains quiet until needed. Memory becomes a reference, not a presence. When a cat enters a familiar room, memory informs posture, movement, and positioning without drawing attention to itself. The body settles where it has settled before. Awareness remains light. Nothing needs to be reconsidered. This efficiency also supports rest. Because memory does not intrude, the system can remain still without being disturbed by recollection. The past does not compete with the present. The feline mind remains anchored. This anchoring prevents mental drift. Attention does not wander through previous experiences. It stays aligned with the immediate environment. As a result, cats can rest deeply without cognitive interference. Their internal state is not pulled in multiple directions. Memory remains functional but silent. This silence contributes to the sense of calm often associated with cats. Their presence is not shaped by unresolved experience. It is shaped by what is currently occurring. When nothing occurs, the system remains quiet. Memory does not demand engagement. It does not require attention. It does not shape behavior beyond what is necessary. The system remains clean. This clean relationship with memory allows the feline system to move smoothly between moments. Each experience stands alone. Once complete, it dissolves. Nothing is carried forward unnecessarily. The present moment remains sufficient. Cats develop independence early. From a young age, the feline system begins organizing itself around self-directed regulation rather than external guidance. This does not mean isolation. It means that stability is established internally, rather than through continuous interaction. Early experiences shape how a cat relates to space, movement, and proximity. During development, kittens learn where their bodies end and the environment begins. They learn what requires response and what can be ignored. These lessons are absorbed quietly. Boundaries form through repetition rather than instruction. Familiar surfaces, consistent pathways, and predictable interactions create a framework the system can rely on. Once learned, these boundaries remain in place without ongoing reinforcement. The feline mind does not require constant feedback to maintain orientation. As independence develops, reliance on external cues diminishes. The system learns to settle on its own, to pause without reassurance, and to remain present without guidance. This self-sufficiency supports regulation. Because the cat does not depend on others to confirm safety, it does not need to remain attentive to social signals. Proximity becomes optional rather than necessary. The system can remain calm alone or alongside others. Early independence also shapes how cats approach interaction. Engagement is chosen rather than automatic. The cat does not feel compelled to respond to every presence or movement. Attention remains selective. This selectivity prevents overload. The system does not need to track multiple sources of input simultaneously. It remains focused on what is directly relevant. Boundaries learned early become internal references. They guide behavior without effort. The cat knows when to approach, when to remain still, and when to move away. These decisions do not require deliberation. Because boundaries are internalized, they do not need to be defended continuously. The system does not remain alert to protect them. They simply exist. This reduces tension. Early independence also influences how cats rest. Because regulation does not depend on external confirmation, the body can settle fully. Rest does not require supervision. The cat can remain still without monitoring others for reassurance. This supports deep rest states. Learned boundaries extend to physical space. Cats develop a clear sense of personal distance early on. They understand how close they can be to objects, surfaces, and others without discomfort. This spatial awareness reduces the need for adjustment. The body positions itself accurately. Movements are precise. There is little need to correct posture once settled. This precision conserves energy. Because boundaries are stable, the system does not need to test them repeatedly. The cat does not push against limits unnecessarily. It remains within what is known. This predictability supports calm. Early independence also reduces reliance on social escalation. Cats do not use heightened behavior to negotiate space. Signals remain minimal because boundaries are already understood. The body does not need to amplify communication. As a result, interactions remain brief and contained. Engagement begins and ends without lingering activation. This pattern continues into adulthood. The feline system remains self-regulating. External input does not override internal balance unless it exceeds learned boundaries. When it does, the response is brief. Once resolved, the system releases. This approach allows cats to share space without constant negotiation. Boundaries are maintained quietly. The environment does not need to be reshaped. The cat fits itself into what exists. Because independence is established early, the system does not experience absence as instability. Being alone does not trigger internal change. The body remains settled. This contributes to the steady presence cats maintain. They do not require engagement to feel secure. They do not require proximity to remain regulated. Their internal reference points remain intact. This internalization of boundaries also prevents emotional spillover. The system does not become activated by minor disruptions. Learned limits absorb small changes without requiring response. Only significant deviations engage attention. This keeps the internal state clean. Early independence, in this sense, is not detachment. It is efficiency. The system learns what it needs to know, and then relies on that knowledge without revisiting it. Once learned, boundaries remain quiet. The cat does not question them. It does not test them. It does not reinforce them through repetition. They simply exist. This allows the feline mind to remain focused on the present environment rather than on maintaining stability. Stability is already there, and because it is already there, the system can remain still. Some feline behaviors appear repetitive. Kneading, scratching, pressing the body into familiar surfaces. These actions are often interpreted symbolically or emotionally, but within the feline system, they serve a different function. They are regulatory behaviors, simple, contained movements that help the body maintain balance without escalation. Kneading begins early in development. The motion itself is slow and rhythmic, involving alternating pressure through the forelimbs. The body does not brace. The shoulders remain relaxed. The movement is controlled and repetitive. This repetition is not expressive. It is stabilizing. The act of kneading provides predictable sensory feedback. Pressure through the pores, resistance from the surface, and consistent movement patterns allow the nervous system to settle into a steady rhythm. Once the rhythm is established, the system remains contained. There is no build-up. There is no release. The behavior does not intensify. It remains constant until it naturally fades. This constancy is important. It prevents the system from escalating. The body receives input without becoming stimulated. Kneading also reinforces familiarity. The surfaces chosen are often those already known: fabric, bedding, or locations frequently used for rest. The sensory feedback confirms what the system already understands. Nothing new is introduced. Scratching operates in a similar way. While it serves practical functions related to the body and environment, it also provides controlled sensory input. The motion is deliberate. Pressure is applied and released. The movement ends cleanly. There is no lingering activation afterward. The feline mind does not treat these actions as events. They are not followed by heightened awareness or anticipation. Once complete, the system returns to baseline. This return is immediate. These behaviors help distribute tension evenly through the body. Muscles engage briefly and then relax. The nervous system remains regulated through movement rather than disrupted by it. There is no excess effort. Because the actions are familiar, they do not demand attention. The system does not monitor the movement closely. Awareness remains light. This allows the cat to remain present without becoming alert. Kneading and scratching also support boundary maintenance. They mark surfaces physically, but more importantly, they reinforce internal orientation. The body confirms its position within space. This confirmation does not require interpretation. The feline system relies on these simple behaviors to maintain internal order. There is no need for complex regulation strategies. Movement itself provides balance. Because regulation occurs continuously through small actions, there is no accumulation of tension that requires release later. Everything is handled as it arises. These behaviors are often followed by stillness. Once the movement completes, the body settles more fully. Muscles soften, breathing slows. The system has recalibrated. This sequence, brief movement, immediate release, keeps the internal state clean. Nothing is carried forward. Over time, these small regulatory actions shape the overall tone of the feline day. Activity remains low level. Movement never escalates into restlessness. The cat does not need to pace, fidget, or seek stimulation to regulate. The system already knows how to settle. Because these behaviors are integrated into daily rhythm, they do not interrupt rest, they support it. The body remains comfortable within stillness. There is no resistance to pausing afterward. Kneading and scratching are not signals to others. They are not requests. They are internal processes that happen to be visible. Once complete, the body does not expect response. This lack of expectation prevents feedback loops. The system does not remain activated waiting for acknowledgement. Everything ends where it begins. These actions also reinforce predictability. They occur in familiar contexts, at familiar times, in familiar places. The system recognizes them as part of the environment. Nothing changes as a result. This consistency allows the feline mind to remain quiet even while movement occurs. There is no need to adjust internal state beyond the movement itself. Regulation happens locally and resolves immediately. As a result, these behaviors do not disturb the surrounding space. They do not draw attention. They do not alter the environment. The cat remains integrated within it. This quiet integration contributes to the steady presence cats maintain. Their behaviors do not disrupt rhythm. They support it. Movement remains minimal. Stillness remains dominant. The system does not seek more than it needs. Once the body is aligned, the behavior stops. Nothing lingers, and rest continues. Cats move with precision. Each step is measured. Each shift of weight is deliberate. Each transition from stillness to motion occurs without excess. This precision is not learned through correction. It is embedded into the structure of the feline body and the way the system organizes movement. The feline gait is designed to minimize effort while maximizing control. Muscles engage only as much as necessary. The spine remains flexible, allowing movement to distribute evenly rather than concentrating strain in any single area. As a result, motion remains smooth. When a cat begins to walk, there is no abrupt start. Weight transfers gradually. The body aligns before the first step is taken. Balance is established before movement continues. This preparation happens automatically. There is no rush to move. There is no momentum to maintain. Each step exists independently. Paws are placed carefully, often in a direct line. This reduces lateral movement and keeps the body centered. The system does not need to compensate for instability. The tail adjusts subtly, supporting balance without drawing attention. Once movement begins, it remains quiet. Footfalls are light. The body does not bounce or sway unnecessarily. Energy is conserved through efficiency. When the destination is reached, movement ends cleanly. There is no overshooting. There is no lingering adjustment. The body returns to stillness immediately. This clean transition between movement and rest prevents accumulation of tension. Muscles do not remain engaged beyond their task. The nervous system does not stay activated. Movement resolves fully. The feline gait also adapts to surface and environment without effort. Changes in texture, elevation, or spacing are absorbed through small adjustments rather than large corrections. The system remains calm. Because movement is precise, the body does not need to remain alert afterward. There is no uncertainty about position. The cat knows where it is. This certainty allows rest to follow immediately. Even when moving quickly, precision remains. Acceleration does not result in loss of control. The system scales movement without sacrificing alignment. Once the need for speed ends, the body decelerates smoothly. There is no abrupt stop. This ability to enter and exit movement without disruption supports regulation. Activity does not linger. Rest resumes without delay. The feline mind does not associate movement with sustained arousal. Movement is simply movement. Gait precision also shapes how cats navigate their environment. They do not take unnecessary steps. Paths are chosen for efficiency. The body follows routes that require minimal effort. Over time, these routes become familiar. Familiarity further reduces cognitive load. The system does not need to evaluate each movement. It follows known patterns. This predictability supports calm. When a cat climbs, jumps, or descends, movement remains controlled. Power is applied briefly and released immediately afterward. There is no lingering tension. The body settles. This contrasts with systems that rely on endurance or repeated motion. Cats do not sustain activity longer than necessary. They apply energy in short, precise bursts. Once complete, the system returns to baseline. Because movement does not accumulate, the body does not require extended recovery. Rest blends naturally with activity. There is no sharp division. The feline gait supports this blending. The spine's flexibility allows movement to flow through the body rather than being resisted. This reduces strain and supports longevity of stillness. The system remains balanced. This balance contributes to the visual calm cats project. Their movements do not disrupt the space around them. They do not create noise or visual clutter. Motion passes quietly. Observers often describe feline movement as graceful. But this grace is not aesthetic. It is functional. Precision reduces effort. Effort reduction preserves energy. Energy preservation supports regulation. The system does not seek to impress. It seeks to remain efficient. Even when navigating complex environments, the feline body does not rush. Decisions are made quickly, but execution remains measured. There is no hesitation once movement begins. There is no correction once movement ends. Everything is contained. This containment allows cats to remain composed during movement. The system does not become excited by its own activity. There is no feedback loop of arousal. Movement does not stimulate further movement. Once complete, the body rests. Over time, this pattern creates a stable rhythm. Movement occurs as needed, then dissolves. Stillness resumes without resistance. The environment remains unchanged. For those sharing space with a cat, this precision contributes to a sense of quiet continuity. The cat moves without interruption, then becomes still again. Nothing escalates. The body does not carry motion forward. Each action ends where it began. This consistency allows the feline system to remain regulated across the day. Movement does not fragment attention. It does not pull the system away from baseline. The cat remains centered. Precision is not effortful. It is habitual. And because it is habitual, it does not demand attention. Movement occurs. Movement ends. Stillness returns. Cats are often nearby. They occupy the same rooms, rest within the same spaces, and remain within view without seeking interaction. This proximity is not accidental, and it is not an invitation. It reflects a system that values shared space without requiring engagement. For a cat, presence does not depend on contact. The feline system is comfortable remaining close without touching, observing without approaching, and resting without interaction. Proximity alone is sufficient to maintain orientation within the environment. There is no need to bridge the distance. This preference shapes how cats position themselves around others. They may settle on a nearby surface, choose a place slightly removed, or align themselves within the same general area without crossing into shared physical space. The body remains neutral. Posture stays relaxed. Movement is minimal. This neutrality allows presence to exist without demand. The cat does not signal expectation. It does not seek response. It simply remains where it is. The system stays contained. Because contact is optional, the cat's internal state does not depend on it. Regulation does not require physical reassurance. The body remains settled whether interaction occurs or not. This independence prevents escalation. When contact does occur, it is brief and deliberate. The body approaches, engages momentarily, and then withdraws. Once complete, the system returns to stillness. There is no lingering activation. Presence without contact also allows cats to remain aware without becoming involved. They can monitor the environment, including others within it, without needing to participate. This observation remains passive. The feline mind does not assign meaning to proximity beyond orientation. Being near does not imply obligation. It does not require response. This separation between presence and engagement keeps the system balanced. Because the cat does not equate closeness with interaction, it does not experience internal conflict when remaining nearby without contact. The body stays relaxed. There is no tension between approach and avoidance. The system remains clear. This clarity supports calm. The cat does not oscillate between engagement and withdrawal. It chooses a position and remains there until something changes. Nothing is negotiated. Presence without contact also reduces sensory load. Physical interaction introduces additional input: touch, pressure, movement. By limiting contact, the system reduces stimulation. This reduction supports regulation. When the body remains untouched, muscles stay soft. The nervous system does not need to adjust to external input. Awareness remains light. This allows rest to continue uninterrupted. Cats also use distance to maintain boundaries. By positioning themselves nearby, but not within reach, they preserve internal balance without signaling rejection. Distance becomes functional rather than emotional. This functional distance allows coexistence without strain. The environment remains shared, but not crowded. The cat remains integrated without becoming entangled. Because contact is not required, the system does not become activated by its absence. There is no anticipation or waiting. The cat does not monitor for opportunities to engage. It simply remains present. This presence is steady. It does not fluctuate based on external response. Whether interaction occurs or not, the internal state remains consistent. This consistency contributes to the sense of calm that often accompanies a cat's presence. The cat does not pull attention toward itself. It does not introduce activity into the space. It remains part of the background. Even when others move within the environment, the cat's presence remains unchanged. It does not follow movement unless necessary. It does not adjust posture in response to minor shifts. The system stays quiet. Presence without contact also allows cats to disengage easily. When they choose to move away, the transition is smooth. There is no emotional residue. The system does not carry interaction forward. Movement ends. Distance is restored. Stillness returns. This ease of disengagement prevents buildup of activation. The system remains clean. Over time, this pattern shapes the cat's role within shared spaces. The cat becomes a constant without being a focal point. Its presence does not require acknowledgement. Nothing is expected. This absence of expectation allows the environment to remain as it is. The cat does not alter the rhythm of the space. It adapts itself quietly. Presence exists without influence. For the feline system, this is efficient. There is no need to manage interaction. The body remains regulated by staying within its own boundaries. Contact remains optional. This optionality preserves energy. The system does not prepare for engagement unless engagement occurs. There is no readiness held in reserve. When contact is not occurring, nothing is being withheld. Presence without contact becomes the default. The cat remains nearby, settled and contained. Awareness stays present without extending outward. Nothing needs to happen. And because nothing needs to happen, rest continues. Cats rest frequently, yet their rest is not a withdrawal from the environment. It is not a collapse into unawareness, nor a disengagement from what surrounds them. Instead, feline rest exists as a state where the body settles while awareness remains lightly present. The system rests without disconnecting. When a cat lies down, the body releases tension gradually. Muscles soften. Breathing becomes slower and more even. Posture aligns itself for comfort without sacrificing orientation. The head may lower. The eyes may close partially or fully. The ears remain available to sound. This balance allows the cat to recover physically while maintaining a gentle connection to the environment. Rest, in this sense, is not an absence of awareness. It is a reduction in effort. The feline mind does not need to shut down to recover. It simply narrows its focus. Awareness becomes diffuse rather than pointed, open rather than directed. This diffuse awareness does not search. It does not anticipate. It does not analyze. It simply remains. Because awareness is not fully withdrawn, the system does not require abrupt transitions between rest and alertness. If something changes in the environment, attention can engage smoothly without shock. The body responds proportionally. This proportional response prevents stress. The system does not jump from inactivity into high alert. It transitions gently, engaging only as much as required. Once the stimulus resolves, the system releases again. Rest resumes without delay. This fluid movement between rest and awareness is central to feline regulation. There is no sharp boundary between sleeping and waking. States blend into one another. As a result, cats can rest many times throughout the day without feeling disrupted. These rest periods are not all the same. Some involve deeper relaxation. Others remain closer to wakefulness. The system adjusts based on environmental stability. When the environment is quiet and familiar, rest deepens. When there is more activity, awareness remains slightly more open. In both cases, the body remains settled. This adaptability allows cats to rest in shared spaces. They do not need isolation to recover. The presence of others does not automatically interrupt rest. The system remains regulated as long as the environment remains predictable. Rest without disconnection also prevents accumulation of fatigue. Because the body releases tension frequently, there is no buildup that requires extended recovery. Energy is conserved continuously rather than restored in large blocks. This continuous regulation supports stability. The feline system does not wait until exhaustion to rest. It rests as part of its normal rhythm. This prevents extremes. The body stays within a narrow range of activation. Because rest is frequent and light, it does not carry emotional weight. The system does not associate rest with vulnerability or loss of control. Rest is simply another state. This neutrality allows the cat to rest openly, without concealment or guarding. The body remains exposed without tension. Awareness remains sufficient. The feline mind trusts the environment. It does not assume threat in the absence of change. This trust allows rest to occur easily. When trust is present, the system does not need to monitor itself. Rest becomes effortless. This effortlessness is visible. Cats often appear relaxed even in active environments. Their bodies do not tighten in response to movement or sound, unless those signals exceed expectation. Most stimuli pass through without disturbance. Because rest does not disconnect awareness, cats can respond quickly if needed. But that readiness does not require vigilance. The system is prepared without being alert. This distinction is important. Vigilance involves tension. Readiness does not. Cats maintain readiness through soft awareness rather than muscular engagement. This prevents strain. Rest without disconnection also supports emotional neutrality. Because awareness remains present, there is no abrupt re-entry into the environment that might trigger arousal. The system remains aligned. This alignment prevents emotional spikes. States shift gradually. There are no sudden changes. The feline system prefers continuity. Over time, this approach to rest shapes the cat's overall presence. Activity remains balanced. Rest is integrated rather than separate. The cat does not appear either inactive or restless. It occupies a middle ground where both states coexist. This coexistence creates steadiness. For those sharing space with a cat, this rest pattern often feels grounding. The cat remains present without being engaged. The environment remains calm. Nothing demands attention. The cat's body communicates stability through stillness. There is no indication that rest is fragile or easily disrupted. The system remains settled. Because rest is frequent and unremarkable, it does not become a focal point. The cat rests as it moves, quietly, efficiently, and without excess. There is no ceremony. Rest begins when movement ends. Movement begins when rest ends. Between the two, nothing accumulates. This simplicity keeps the system regulated. Rest without disconnection allows the cat to remain integrated within its environment throughout the day. There is no need to leave awareness behind to recover. Recovery happens within presence. And because recovery happens continuously, the system remains balanced. Nothing is withheld. Nothing is exhausted. The body rests and awareness remains. And when nothing changes, rest continues. Cats do not carry emotional momentum. Their internal state aligns closely with the immediate environment, rather than extending outward into interpretation or projection. When the surroundings remain stable, the feline system remains stable as well. This alignment is not emotional detachment. It is proportional response. The feline mind does not amplify internal state beyond what the environment provides. Sound, movement, and presence are registered, but they do not automatically generate emotional change. If nothing changes, the internal state does not change. This creates emotional neutrality. Neutrality does not mean absence. It means balance. The system remains centered, neither elevated nor suppressed. Attention stays present without attaching to stimulus. There is no need to interpret what is occurring beyond its immediate relevance. This allows cats to remain settled in environments that fluctuate gently. Minor changes do not ripple inward. the system absorbs them without reaction. Only significant shifts engage attention. Once engaged, response remains brief. When the stimulus resolves, the system releases. There is no emotional residue carried forward. This release is automatic. The feline system does not revisit the experience. It does not compare it to past events or anticipate future ones. Emotional state resets to baseline. This prevents accumulation. Because emotional processing remains contained, cats do not oscillate between states unnecessarily. Their presence remains consistent across time. The environment does not pull them into activity unless it truly requires response. This environmental alignment supports regulation. The system does not operate independently of surroundings, nor does it become overwhelmed by them. It remains synchronized. When the environment is quiet, the system is quiet. When the environment is active, the system adapts proportionally. There is no overreaction. This proportionality prevents stress. Emotional energy is not spent responding to insignificant changes. The system conserves its resources. As a result, cats often appear unbothered by situations that might seem stimulating. Their internal state mirrors the overall tone of the environment rather than individual events. This mirroring is passive. The feline mind does not attempt to control or influence its surroundings. It responds only as much as required to remain oriented. This restraint keeps the system balanced. Because emotional neutrality is maintained, cats do not seek external regulation. They do not rely on others to stabilize internal state. Regulation remains internal. This independence reduces emotional fluctuation. There is no need to manage interaction to maintain balance. Proximity does not change internal state unless contact occurs. Even then, response remains contained. The system does not escalate. Emotional neutrality also allows cats to disengage easily. When they move away from a situation, internal state resolves immediately. There is no lingering activation. Distance restores alignment. This ease of disengagement prevents buildup of tension. The system remains clean. Over time, this pattern reinforces stability. The feline system becomes accustomed to remaining neutral unless change demands otherwise. Neutrality becomes the default. This default supports calm presence. The cat does not project emotion into the space. It does not pull attention toward itself. It remains aligned with what is. Environmental alignment also means that cats do not feel silence. Quiet does not require response. The system remains comfortable within stillness. There is no urge to act. This comfort allows rest to deepen without emotional interference. The internal state remains unchanged by the absence of stimulus. Nothing is missing. The feline system accepts the environment as sufficient. This acceptance keeps emotional processing minimal. The system does not search for meaning or engagement. It remains settled. Neutrality does not need to be maintained. It simply exists. And because it exists, the system remains steady. Cats live within the present moment. This is not a philosophical stance or a learned behavior. It is the natural outcome of how the feline system processes information. Attention remains anchored to what is currently occurring, rather than extending backward into memory or forward into anticipation. The feline mind does not divide itself across time. When a cat is resting, it is resting. When it is moving, it is moving. When it is observing, it is observing. Each state exists independently, without overlap. This present-focused organization prevents mental fragmentation. The system does not juggle multiple points of attention. It does not track what has already happened while preparing for what might happen next. It stays where it is. Because attention does not drift, internal noise remains low. There is no background processing competing for resources. Awareness is clear and uncluttered. This clarity supports regulation. The present focus system also reduces uncertainty. The feline system does not experience unresolved futures as pressure. Until something changes, nothing needs to be addressed. The system remains neutral. When change does occur, attention engages immediately. There is no delay caused by distraction. The system responds quickly and proportionally. Once the change resolves, attention releases. The present moment regains dominance. This cycle repeats continuously. Each moment is processed fully, then allowed to pass. Nothing is carried forward unnecessarily. The feline system does not rehearse. It does not anticipate without cues. It does not review without reason. This simplicity keeps the internal state balanced. Because attention is not split, energy is conserved. The brain does not maintain readiness for hypothetical outcomes. It remains available without being activated. This availability supports calm. The present focus system also shapes how cats experience time. There is no sense of waiting in the absence of cues. Time does not stretch or compress. It simply moves. When nothing is happening, nothing is processed. This absence of processing is not boredom. It is efficiency. The system does not require stimulation to remain functional. Silence is acceptable. This acceptance allows cats to remain still for extended periods without discomfort. The internal state does not seek change. It remains aligned with what is. When activity resumes, engagement happens naturally. There is no buildup of tension during inactivity. The system does not store unused energy that must be released later. Everything stays balanced. The present-focused nature of the feline system also prevents emotional escalation. Without projection, there is no accumulation of unresolved feeling. Emotional state resets continuously. Each moment begins fresh. This freshness keeps emotional tone stable. The system does not drift upward or downward without cause. Neutrality remains intact. The feline mind does not attempt to make sense of experience beyond its immediate relevance. There is no narrative construction. Events are not linked unless necessary for recognition. This prevents internal complexity. Without complexity, there is no need for control. The system does not manage itself actively. It simply functions. This passive functioning reduces strain. The present-focused system also supports adaptability. Because attention is not committed elsewhere, the system can respond quickly to unexpected change. Readiness exists without vigilance. This readiness does not interfere with rest. Awareness remains soft, open, and receptive. The system does not guard against the future. It trusts the present to provide information when needed. This trust reduces internal effort. The feline system does not prepare for every possibility. It waits for reality to present itself. Until then, it remains still. This stillness is not absence. It is containment. Contained attention allows the system to remain integrated with the environment without becoming entangled. The cat is part of the space without shaping it. Nothing is imposed. This integration supports calm coexistence. The cat does not alter the rhythm of the environment. It adapts to it quietly. The present-focused system also influences perception. Sensory input is processed as it arrives, without layering interpretation. Sound is sound. Movement is movement. There is no meaning added. This direct processing reduces cognitive load. The system does not need to decide how to feel about what it perceives. It simply registers and responds if required. Response remains minimal. Once response is complete, attention releases. Nothing lingers. Over time, this approach creates a stable internal rhythm. Each moment is complete in itself. There is no pressure to extend it. The feline system moves through time without friction. For those sharing space with a cat, this present-focused state often feels grounding. The cat does not pull attention into the past or future. It anchors the environment in now. Nothing is unresolved. The cat remains where it is, both physically and internally. This presence does not demand engagement. It does not seek acknowledgement. It simply exists. And because it exists without effort, the system remains calm. The present moment is sufficient. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be removed. Attention rests where it belongs. Here. Cats feel steady because they are not trying to be. Their internal state is not maintained through control, discipline, or constant adjustment. It is the result of a system that does very little beyond what is required. The feline mind does not manage itself actively. It does not correct emotion, regulate thought, or stabilize mood through effort. Stability emerges naturally from how the system is structured. When nothing changes, nothing is adjusted. This absence of effort prevents fluctuation. The system does not drift upward into stimulation or downward into withdrawal. It remains within a narrow, balanced range. Steadiness becomes the default. Because the system does not anticipate disruption, it does not brace. Muscles remain soft. Attention remains light. There is no internal tightening in preparation for what might happen. Only what is happening matters. This present alignment reduces internal resistance. The body is not pulled in opposing directions. There is no tension between wanting change and maintaining stillness. Stillness simply exists. The feline system also avoids overcorrection. When something shifts internally or externally, response is minimal. The system does not amplify sensation or emotion to restore balance. Balance restores itself. This self-correcting quality keeps the internal state smooth. Minor disturbances resolve without leaving a trace. Nothing accumulates. Because steadiness is not effortful, it does not fatigue the system. The cat does not become tired of being calm. Calmness does not require maintenance. It persists on its own. This persistence allows the cat to remain composed across varying environments. Changes in sound, movement, or presence do not disrupt internal balance unless they exceed familiarity. Even then, response remains proportional. Once the environment settles, steadiness returns immediately. There is no recovery period. The feline system does not carry activation forward. Each response ends where it begins. There is no after effect. This containment preserves energy. Steadiness without effort also means that the system does not seek reassurance. It does not look outward to confirm stability. Regulation remains internal. This independence reduces emotional variability. The cat does not depend on interaction to remain balanced. Proximity, contact, or attention do not determine internal state. The system stands on its own. This autonomy prevents emotional entanglement. The cat does not become reactive to other states. It remains aligned with itself. External emotion does not override internal balance. Because steadiness is not constructed, it does not collapse under pressure. The system does not rely on fragile mechanisms. It remains stable even when briefly disturbed. Once disturbance passes, balance resumes. This resilience is quiet. There is no display of recovery. There is no indication that effort was required. The system simply returns to baseline. Over time, this pattern reinforces itself. The system learns that balance does not need to be protected. It does not need guarding or reinforcement. Steadiness becomes familiar. This familiarity further reduces effort. The system does not question its state. It accepts balance as normal. Nothing is monitored. The feline system does not interpret calmness as a state that might be lost. It does not fear disruption. It trusts its ability to respond if needed. Until then, it remains still. This trust removes urgency. There is no need to stay alert. Awareness remains open but relaxed. The system rests within itself. For those sharing space with a cat, this steadiness often feels grounding. The cat does not react unnecessarily. It does not mirror agitation. It remains neutral. This neutrality stabilizes the environment without trying to. The cat does not impose calm. It simply embodies it. Steadiness without effort does not announce itself. It does not demand recognition. It just exists. And because it exists without strain, it continues. Cats become part of a space. They do not announce themselves, and they do not withdraw from the environment. Over time, they settle into familiar positions, rhythms, and routines that require no attention to maintain. Their presence does not ask anything of the environment. The feline system integrates quietly. It does not need to be acknowledged to remain oriented. It does not shift its internal state based on recognition or response. It simply remains where it is. This familiarity develops gradually. The cat learns the environment through repetition rather than inspection. Paths, resting places, and vantage points become known without effort. Once known, they are not reconsidered. Because the environment is familiar, the system does not need to monitor it continuously. Awareness stays light. The body remains relaxed. Nothing needs to be checked. This familiarity allows the cat to blend into daily life without interruption. Its movements do not disrupt the space. Its rest does not change the rhythm of the environment. It fits itself into what already exists. Presence without demand also means that the cat does not seek engagement to confirm belonging. It does not test connection. It does not signal absence if interaction does not occur. Belonging is assumed. This assumption keeps the internal state steady. The system does not fluctuate based on social response. It remains aligned regardless of attention. The cat is there, whether it is noticed or not. This neutrality prevents emotional tension. The system does not wait for response. It does not hold expectation. Nothing is missing. As a result, the cat's presence becomes background rather than focal. It occupies space without shaping it. It does not influence behavior around it. It remains integrated, but unobtrusive. Over time, this quiet presence becomes familiar to others within the environment. The cat is not experienced as an event. It is experienced as part of the setting. Nothing changes when it is there. This constancy creates continuity. The environment feels stable because the cat does not introduce variability. Its behavior remains predictable. Predictability supports calm. The feline system also does not escalate presence through proximity. It does not move closer to demand interaction. It maintains distance that supports regulation. Distance is not absence. It is balance. This balance allows coexistence without strain. The cat remains nearby without crossing into shared space unless chosen. When it does approach, contact is brief and resolves cleanly. Once resolved, presence returns to baseline. There is no lingering engagement. Because presence does not demand response, it does not create obligation. Others are free to continue as they are. The environment remains unchanged. The cat adapts rather than influencing. This adaptation reduces friction. The cat's presence does not need to be managed. It does not require accommodation beyond what is already present. It fits. The feline system does not require reassurance to maintain this fit. It does not seek confirmation that it belongs. Belonging is internal. This internal belonging keeps the system calm. There is no anxiety about position or place. The cat remains settled because nothing is being negotiated. The environment is sufficient. Familiar presence without demand allows the cat to remain steady over time. It does not fluctuate in response to daily variation. Days pass, and the system remains the same. Nothing accumulates. Nothing changes unnecessarily. The cat remains where it is. And because nothing is required, presence continues quietly. The behaviors described do not require interpretation. They continue whether they are observed or not. A cat rests where it has rested before, moves when movement is required, becomes still when movement ends. Nothing needs to be resolved. The system does not carry meaning forward. Each moment stands on its own and then passes. When one moment ends, another begins without reference to what came before. The body remains aligned. Presence does not intensify. Stillness does not deepen. Nothing builds. The environment remains as it is. The cat remains within it, neither separate nor engaged, neither waiting nor withdrawing. Awareness stays light. Posture stays relaxed. Breathing continues. There is no transition to mark, no shift to notice. The system remains steady as attention drifts elsewhere. Nothing signals an ending. The cat does not change state because nothing has changed. And so the moment continues, unmarked, unextended, and complete.